Good morning, and welcome to Rasslin Radio. We have a lot of good stuff cooking this week. Some information that's a little bit tragic. We want to start out with that and kind of talk about it a little bit and then kind of end it for the hour. We'd like to dedicate this hour of Rasslin Radio to the complete recovery and return of Magnum T.A., who was in a very, very bad car accident just this week. And right now we can only speculate on his condition. We don't know for sure, what the whole thing is all about. We know he's in the hospital. We know he's on the critical list. We're hopefully waiting for a phone call during this hour on an update on his condition. I know that Joel and I share your feelings in how much we miss him and how much we wish him well.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of phone calls at the store, plus last night at the matches, a lot of people were coming up and asking what happened, how it happened, and we do have some of the details. Again, it's kind of sketchy because we keep hearing new stories, but the bottom line was that Magnum was driving to the tapings on Tuesday morning. He was in his Porsche. For whatever reason, it was raining. I don't know how fast he was going. The car hydroplaned. It flipped over 3 or 4 times and rammed into a tree. When it rammed into the tree, for last night we heard that it took almost an hour before any ambulance or anybody got to him. They got to him. It took about an hour to get him out of the car using the jaws of life. They rushed him to the hospital. He was under the blade, in surgery for 6 hours. Part of the accident caused him a broken neck. They had to remove a piece of bone from his pelvis to replace the bone lossage in his neck. As of Friday, he was paralyzed from the neck down, but they don't think it's permanent. They blindfolded him for a test and rubbed a needle up and down his right leg and asked him, did he feel anything? And he said, yeah, I feel you doing something on my right leg. They did on his left leg. He felt it again. And last night, Dick Murdoch was telling us in the back that he was able to take his fingers and kind of squeeze. So he's starting to get some feeling back. But right now, it's serious but stable. He's on a respirator. He has a bag in his lung because they're afraid of the lung collapsing. He's just in bad shape.
It's really a shame that, it just goes to show you that no matter what you've got, and here's a man that's got all this money and popularity and prestige and good looks and this and that, and you just never know what's going to happen. We sat back and thought about it the other day and thought about just do the best you can with your life and just live every day like it's your last, because you never know when it is. I certainly, and my heart tells me Magnum will never be back to wrestle again. I'd love to see him back again tomorrow, and we hope that things will go well. These things, it's just taken us all completely in shock. We're all just, we just don't even know what to say. But we're going to send him a copy of the tape, and hoping that it'll make him a little bit happier. And we know that all your thoughts are with him. If you'd like to send him a card, he's at the he's in Charlotte. But if you want to send him a card, it might be best if you send it to us at Rasslin Radio, in care of WDVT Talk 900, New Market, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19147, or you can send it up to the Squared Circle, Route 1 and 413 in the I-95 Marketplace in Levittown, Pennsylvania 19056. We'll repeat those addresses periodically throughout the hour, and I'm really, really sure that he would love to get your cards and letters and messages, and believe me when I tell you this, no matter how long it takes, he will get whatever we get in the mail to give him.
Yeah, one of the other things, obviously, last night I had a conversation with Dick Murdoch, but he also mentioned that Magnum at some point this week coming up was going to be transferred out of the hospital that he's in down to Miami, where they speculate that he might be in the hospital for as long as 1 year. So sending the cards directly to the hospital, it might be the long way around. The best thing would be to send the cards and letters and whatever to the radio station here or the Squared Circle.
Send them to, it might be better that way at this point, because we can take them to the Civic Center, give them to the other guys that will see him. We can send them right out to Jim Crockett as well. God willing, somewhere down the road, if he's going to be in the hospital for a year, as he gets better, maybe we'll all take a trip out there and see him, and, we'll take them all with us. But again, I'm just going to go through those addresses quickly. WDVT Talk 900, Rasslin Radio, Newmarket, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19147, or the Squared Circle, Route 1 and 413, and the I-95 Marketplace, Levittown, Pennsylvania, 19056. Our numbers to call in today are Pennsylvania, 238-3900, in New Jersey, 541-3900. Right now, we're going to go on a little bit of a better note. We're going to talk about the World Wrestling Federation, the WWF. We have stuff to talk about from last night. We have some results, and both cards did go on. That wasn't supposed to happen according to what we were told, but from what we understand, the laws, somebody says the laws have changed, somebody says they haven't. But if I'm not mistaken, sometime in December, I think it is, they might be going head-to-head again.
Yeah. I had a conversation with one of the commissioners this past week. He claims that the statute about the 25-mile radius, where you could not hold more than one card within a 25-mile zone, was eliminated over 4 years ago. And if that's the case, then matches like last night, and where you have two in the same town, same night, might continue to go on. But our understanding, I don't know what the December date was. I think it was the 15th. But on the 15th of December, both cards are back the same day. One thing I just want to add about Magnum TA, and then we'll go on. On a positive note, Ric Flair, who is the world champion in the NWA, in many regards is probably the best wrestler in the world today, once had a broken back. So hopefully that's a positive sign. Magnum's a strong kid. He should make it back. We certainly hope so.
Sure, and with all of our support, I really don't see why he wouldn't. Okay, last night's results. Hulk Hogan beat Paul Orndorff. Hillbilly Jim beat Mr. Fuji in the Tuxedo match. Savage beat Honky Tonk Man, and Harley Race wasn't there, so Pedro Morales took his place, and he beat Steve Lombardi. We don't have too much else on that right now. The next show is going to be November the 8th. From what we understand, Orton is going to be fighting Piper because of the result of the pit last night that was live, and Savage is going to be going against Steamboat. Any of you who have any more information on last night's show or anything that we haven't said or can add to it, you can call us at 238-3900 in Pennsylvania. In New Jersey, 541-3900. And you're on Talk 900. We are Rasslin Radio, WDVT, Philadelphia.
I want to see Savage and Steamboat.
That's going to be great. That's going to be a good match. They're both excellent wrestlers.
Yep.
And if Vince just, puts people together a little bit more who can really wrestle each other, I think we'll have a lot better shows coming up. Okay. Duggan, let's talk about Jim Duggan. Rumors are flying all over the place. He may be going back to the UWF, we heard. We also heard that probably he was asked to do things that he didn't really want to do. And he also had some other stipulations in his former contract. So he may be going back to the UWF. However, if he decides to stay in the WWF, what we are told is that he will not be appearing, or he will not be anywhere that you'll probably see him, until early November, which is only a couple of weeks away. From what we understand, Vince is just trying to destroy all the opposition. And we wonder, is Steve Williams next?
I'm sure Vince is going to go after him, but I think losing a guy like Jim Duggan is going to hurt Watts' promotion down there. It can only help McMahon, since Duggan happens to be a heck of a worker. We'll see what happens. Okay,
another rumor. Vince is just hitting everybody all over the place. Scott Hall and the Midnight Rockers are supposedly going to be coming to the WWF if they're not already here. And I don't know, Midnight Rockers, Rock and Roll Express, I don't know, maybe he's trying to take something from Crockett also.
Well, I can, knowing the way Vince McMahon markets his people, getting the Midnight Rockers is something that, would probably be exciting. And also with Scott Hall going over, is Stan Spivey and Scott Hall going to get back together again?
Well, I don't know. We're going to talk a little bit about Dan Spivey as we go on. He had some knee surgery. We'll go into that. But I don't know. They're calling Scott Hall Magnum Scott Hall in some of the areas.
They'll drop that real quick now.
Yeah, either that or, well, knowing Vince, they may not drop it real fast. He may pick him up as the equivalent to the Crockett's Magnum. The Midnight Rockers, of course, as the equivalent to the Rock and Roll Express. But from what we also understand is Adrian Adonis is gone. Definitely gone. But the big question is, where did he go, and who will want him now?
Yeah, well, the rumors that we have is that he's going to wind up in Japan somewhere, because it seems that Watson and Crockett really don't want to bother with him. We haven't heard anything about him working any independent cards, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But like we talked about 2-3 weeks ago, he is definitely done with Titan.
That's right. And we also have some updates on some commercials that the WWF wrestlers are doing. The World Wrestling Federation has John Studd, King Kong Bundy, and Hillbilly Jim in a Chevrolet commercial. They kind of all wrestle each other in the back of a pickup truck. And look in the future for a Rubik's Cube commercial. featuring Randy Savage. From what we understand, he's going to be getting a whole lot of publicity on
Can
that
you
one.
picture these big arms trying to figure out how to do this little
No.
puzzle?
No, there's a lot of things I can't picture those big arms doing. But we will be back to you in a minute. Okay, we're on Talk 900, WDVT. We're Rasslin Radio. I'm Carmel. I'm here with my partner, Joel, and we're talking about the World Wrestling Federation. As I said, Danny Spivey had knee surgery. He's out of commission for a while. S.D. Jones has been filling in for him. From what we understand, the knee surgery that he had was not real bad, so he'll be coming back soon. S.D. Jones seems to be doing pretty good for him, so we'll kind of wait and see what happens. Let's go and talk to Serge. Serge, are you there? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, Serge, what's up?
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Hi, how you doing?
All right, how you feeling?
Okay, good. You're on Talk 900. What's your question for us
good.
today?
Okay, my question, okay, is about the match with J.J. Dillon and Dusty Rhodes.
Okay.
Now, I was wondering, first of all, I was very upset over that decision, having J.J. Dillon wrestle Dusty Rhodes, whereas people like Manny Fernandez and gorgeous Jimmy Garland should have been given that title shot. I was wondering what's up with that.
I agree with you.
Right.
I just think that when Tully was unavailable, as you know, these guys train for matches.
Right.
Obviously, Tully and JJ were viewing the films on Dusty and doing what they had to do to get ready for the match. And JJ felt that since Tully had an agreement, which is obviously through Tully Blanchard Enterprises,
Yes.
that JJ would fulfill the requirement, which he tried to do, and he failed. But I would agree with you. I think they could have had a better challenger.
Well, Joel, that was the most disgusting match I've seen in my wrestling career as far as following wrestling. That was disgrace.
Yeah, that was only a couple minutes long too. I didn't get to see the match, but
You didn't see nothing.
I didn't miss anything. Huh?
You're right. He put him in a figure four leg lock, and before you know it, then he attacked. Another thing I did not like that Dusty Rhodes did. He attacked Tully Blanchard, but Tully could not do anything.
Interesting.
He just went after Tully like like a wild man.
That feud hasn't ended yet.
No, they're probably going to really go into that at Starrcade,
Yeah,
I would
that's
say.
building for Starrcade.
So let's
for
wait
sure.
and see what happens, Serge, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Frank from Northeast.
Yeah, I got a question for Joel.
What?
Joel, last week I asked a question about Glow professional wrestling, and you said that was not representative of what you thought professional wrestling is. My segue question then is, what is the relevance of a tuxedo match in professional wrestling, or is this another example of Vince McMahon using dramatic license to embellish his product and take advantage of the many wrestling fans that do not understand a wrist lock from a wristwatch?
Yes.
That's it. You just answered your own question.
How's that for you? Now, again, the promoters always do things a little differently. Even Crockett, if you remember at the last Starrcade, had Miss Atlanta Lively come out in a dress, and the Midnight Express came out in tuxedos, and it's just something to jazz it up a little bit. But Vince is now running every city, has a tuxedo match. I just want to know who is Hillbilly Jim's tailor. That's all I want to know, because the guy is big, and they don't make tuxes that big very often. But you're right. I agree with you.
Thank you.
All right,
You got
thank
it.
you. Bye-bye. Eric from the Northeast, you have a question.
Yeah, hi,
You're on
Carl.
Talk 900. Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. About 2 weeks ago, I heard that Buddy Landell was missing from wrestling, and last night I saw him on UWF. So I want to know what's happening, and I'd also like to wish Madam PA a speedy recovery.
Well, we thank you for your wishes to Magnum, and we know that he'll thank you, too. What happened to Buddy Landell is that he left the NWA and took a small hiatus, and he's now in the UWF. Last night he signed a contract. It was on television. And that's where he is. I guess somebody found him from wherever he went and brought him home.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. Let's talk to Mark from Cherry Hill.
This is about Piper's Pit yesterday.
Okay.
Jimmy Hart brought out a Red Demon, his bodyguard.
Uh-huh.
Do you know who it was?
Jimmy Hart has a bodyguard?
A red demon? No, we don't know what his name is right now, but I'm glad you brought that point up. Because
said it was Steve Lombardi.
it might have been. Steve Lombardi has worn the mask to come out with Kamala already, and Danny Davis has worn a mask to be Mr. X. So I don't know, but as soon as we find out, we'll announce it on the air for you, okay?
I walked up real close. I looked at Lombardi's eyes. It didn't look like him.
No? All right. Well, thanks for your phone call, and we'll find out and let you know.
We'll get our sources on it. We'll get a Red Demon?
Okay.
Wow.
Sean from Kensington, you have a question.
Yeah, I'd like to know if the Road Warriors are coming back to the NWA.
Yeah, they're coming back. They're in Japan right now, They'll be coming back probably within the next couple of weeks. And what they're doing is, we had once said before, they're not contracted to any specific alliance like some of the other wrestlers are. They prefer wrestling in the NWA at this point, but that does not mean that they're not doing independent shows. They are doing independent shows here and there, and, we'll just kind of wait and see what happens, but they are booking.
Yeah, in fact, well, let me just add one thing. Tomorrow night in Japan, the Road Warriors are fighting the Funks, Dory and Terry. Tomorrow night in Japan. So, yeah, they will be back. In fact, they're already booked into Baltimore for the November 29th card. We don't know when, or November 27th, 28th, whatever it is. So they're going to be back, and they never left the NWA. They just took a little trip to Japan.
Are they going to get the Midnight Express?
Yeah, well, the word is that they're going to fight the Midnight Express at Starrcade.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's talk to Rob in Langhorne. You're on Talk 900.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
First, I'd like to wish that Magnum gets better soon. And
Ditto.
What?
Ditto.
That means us too.
Us too.
Yeah. And first, I'd like to know, who do you think can beat Randy Savage for the belt?
Ricky Steamboat.
Yep.
Ricky Steamboat?
Ditto again.
Yep, ditto. Yeah, so we'll see you at the next Spectrum show.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you.
That's going to be a heck of a match. I'm going to go to that one. I haven't been down to Spectrum for a while. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, we might do that too, okay? We're talking to John.
Yeah. I heard the question just then about the...
Okay, you had the red mask thing. Yeah, okay. We're going to find out about that and get back to you, okay?
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you.
It looked like Orton.
All right.
Look like Orton?
Yeah, you know how Orton always stands with his arms crossed?
Yeah.
He had Orton's rope. He stood there with his arms crossed with that same stance.
Wow.
And then when Orton ran out to save Piper, his hair was all matted down like he'd been wearing a mask.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back to the World Wrestling Federation for a little bit. Danny Davis, who is the referee, seems to be getting a lot of publicity as a heel referee. He also wrestles as Mr. X. It seems as though they're building him up for something. From what we understand, Jesse Ventura seems to defend him a lot during the interviews or during his matches where Vince and Bruno cut him down. Could there be a tag team brewing for WrestleMania 3?
Uh-oh.
I doubt it, but you never know with Vince. Okay, Titan seems to be knocking hard on the doors of Rock and Roll Express. He was supposedly going after Magnum TA. He went after Jim Duggan, supposedly after Dr. Death, Steve Williams. So we'll wait and see. It just seems like Titan is just going after a lot of the main guys and a lot of the other federations just to knock them down.
You know, I can see McMahon trying to get the Rock and Roll Express when Robert got hurt. Obviously decided not to go after them, went and got the Midnight Rockers instead.
That's probably what happened. Okay, Hulk and Orndorff matches seem to be losing popularity already. Their first time showing all over was a big crowd pleaser, but now it seems like they're really losing a lot. They're drawing very small crowds in a lot of the areas where they had drawn bigger ones.
Yeah, in Philadelphia last night, they almost had a sellout.
That's right. Now,
Exception to the rule.
Yep. Well, that's Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Wait to hear this. The Bulldogs have no more Albano, okay? So here, from what we understand, they now have a Bulldog as a manager.
Now, how does Captain Lou feel about that?
I don't know.
You ought to see this little Bulldog. It's no more than 6 inches off the ground. Just kind of walks out with them.
Yeah, most Bulldogs are only.
Except the Bulldog we're going to talk about for Whatever Happened to.
That's right. That's right. He's not only 6 inches off the ground. Segway. Oh, my God. Okay, Alan, we're on Talk 900.
Yes, I'd like to know where Ricky the Dragon Steamboat got his crocodile from.
Where Ricky got his crocodile from? Probably a zoo. Or probably a pet store. Somebody must have had one. You know, I don't know.
I got a simple question. Who cares?
I think that Vince McMahon's making fun of all of us, making us believe that that's a dragon. If I think that's his thing, I think his federation sucks.
You got it.
Okay.
Thank you for your opinion.
Leslie from Philadelphia.
Hi, how you doing this afternoon?
All right, you're on Talk 900. What's your question?
Great. Well, first of all, I'd like to wish Magnum, speedy recovery as everybody else in the area
Thank
does.
you.
And also, I'm wondering if you think that Rick Martel will go bad now, being Dino Bravo's in the WWF and went bad by signing with Johnny V. And do you think there's a possibility of them tagging up again?
I don't know. I don't see Rick Martel turning bad. I can see Dino Bravo going bad before Rick Martel. He just doesn't have that personality. I don't know. Maybe that'll wind up being a good match, though, if they do fight against each other.
That's what
So,
I thought. I'd
yeah.
like to see them tag again, too, though.
You know what's amazing to me? How someone can wrestle and manage under the name of Johnny Valiant for 15 years, and then all of a sudden change it to Johnny V.
Johnny V.
And now nobody calls him Valiant
Yeah,
anymore.
but that's the incredible thing is the people will
buy
call
that.
him what you want him to
People
call him.
will buy that
Sure.
in a second.
Their poor mother. That's all I keep saying.
Okay, thank you, Leslie.
Okay, bye-bye.
You know, bringing up a point like that, it's incredible. You know, people call up and say, why does Vince McMahon do this? Why is he playing with our heads? Why is he treating us like fools? Why this, why that? Well, the bottom line is the majority of the people will appreciate or will follow whatever Vince or anybody else wants them to follow. So, I mean, you know, the ball's in your court out there. If you guys don't like what he's doing or you think he's making a fool out of you or insulting your intelligence, then don't go or let him know what's going on, you know, and see what happens at that point because he's only going to keep on doing what you're going to pay to go see.
Haku Tamu.
That's right. I mean, God, if he came out and said, don't call Hulk Hogan anymore, we're going to call him HH. You know, everybody will wind up calling him HH because that's what they want him to, you know, and I think it's just weird.
But then what would they call Hercules Hernandez?
HERC. Herc. Okay. Tom from the Northeast.
Yes, there's going to be a WWF Tag Team Battle Royal in Madison Square Garden this Monday the 20th.
Yeah.
I'd like to know if you can get the results for that for next week's show.
Sure thing.
Certainly can. We have a satellite dish, and we should be able to get them, and we'll have the results for you on next week's show, okay?
That's great. And I do know some of the matches that are going to be on the 8th of November.
You know some of the matches?
Yes.
Do you know 4 of them? Go ahead. What are they?
Okay, one is George Steele versus Harley Race.
Okay.
The Hart Foundation versus the Islanders. Get this one, Mike Rotundo versus King Kong Bundy.
Oh,
And Danny Spivey will be returning. I'm not sure who he's wrestling.
good.
I have a question for you. You were at the Spectrum last night?
Yes.
Why did you attend the Spectrum versus going to the Civic Center?
Well, first of all, I never went to the Civic Center before, and Spectrum just seemed to be really good shows. Plus, I wanted to see that Piper's Pit.
And I was always curious. We talked a little bit about this the last couple of weeks. The Spectrum show will be on Prism next Sunday. And in a town where you have both shows the same night, if you go to the Civic Center, you'll get to see both shows within a period of 8 days anyway, versus going to the Spectrum and missing the entire Civic Center show.
Yeah, you were there last night. What happened on the pit that was so...
Well, first of all, just Jimmy Hart was giving him a hard time. He tied him up. Some maniac from the crowd ran in, made a comment with Piper. He played along with it. And then this Red Demon came out, and Piper made a mess of him. He ran back into the dressing rooms, and there's no way that Orton could have changed that fast because he had so much stuff on. So, and right after that, Orton came out.
This is the mystery of the week now.
No, you know who I think it was? I think they just ran out of guys. Being the Harley Race didn't show up. They were one man short. So I think they put that honky-tonk man in that outfit. He really looked like him by his build.
Wow, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, well, thank you very much for your phone call. We appreciate your results.
Okay.
Okay. All right, the Squared Circle, the only professional wrestling store in the country. We are located at I-95 Marketplace, where Routes 1, 413, and I-95 meet. Our store hours are Thursday 12 to 9, Friday 10 to 10, Saturday 10 to 9, Sunday 10 to 6. Amongst all of the other things we have in the store, we also have magazines, books, T-shirts, pajamas, school supplies, glasses, toys, dolls, videotapes, kites, hats, bandanas, pins, puzzles. We have in stock now the 1987 wrestling calendars, but we don't have too many of them left, so if you want them, you have to come up and get them soon. We have ticket information for events in Philadelphia and throughout the country. It's your one-stop shop for all your wrestling needs. We have the latest in wrestling information available. However, we prefer that you listen to it at Rasslin Radio because that's why we're here. We have the videotapes of the wrestling going on all weekend long. We have videotapes from all over the world. And come up there and meet with myself, Joel, and my husband, Paul. Our phone number is 750-0269. That's 215 area code 750-0269. We're located at the I-95 Marketplace at Routes 1 and 413 in Levittown, Pennsylvania. Also where I-95 meets. It's not that far away. Our hours, as I said, are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Please come in and check us out. We got all kinds of stuff up there.